Hi.
Hello, how are we?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to recover. My little 2-year-old just banged his head on the edge of the bed literally like 5 minutes before we were
Oh,
supposed to start.
no.
So I
Is he
was like,
okay?
oh no, I gotta go and but I've got to be in here. Like, yeah, it was anyway, I'm here. Mum's looking after him.
Is it cut? Is there blood? Do we have to worry?
No blood, just a nice
Good.
big red mark as a
Oh,
souvenir. So
yeah.
yeah, it happens all the time though. He's a klutz. He's like me.
Is he at that wrong height too, where he bumps into everything?
Oh, yeah, we're like the corner of like coffee tables is, like no, he's a little bit taller than that. I'll give him that, but he will be. I think he's going to be a short young fella. I
Oh,
don't know, because my daughter, she's almost as tall as me. She's crazy tall for her age too. She
yeah.
towers over every kid in a year. But he's a shorty, yeah.
Isn't it
But
funny? They come from the same place, just so different between.
so different, and they're so different just in terms of personalities too. Like, Junie's really outgoing, and she's a bit of a kind of a stage person, I would say. Loves to dance and sing in front of people, and
Yeah.
Jerry's a little bit more kind of reserved and subdued. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out in the future, whether
It
they
will.
become
I
friends.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder if it might switch as they get older, and you'll end up surprising you that they'll go the other way.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they, whatever they do, it makes them happy. But I do kind of hope that they end up in performing arts because, I've enjoyed pursuing it, and I'm sure that they would too. And they seem like they've got the character for it. Put it that way.
Yeah. That is good. I think last time we had you on, and I don't know if it was before we had you on or after, but I think you guys had been to the dinosaur park, like the theme park thing. I remember watching that thinking, oh, that looks so much fun. I think it was after, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that was probably December. I think we haven't spoken since, was it mid last year that we last had a yarn?
I don't know. It feels like it's been
I'm calling
ages.
shotgun. Oh, it's
Yeah,
been
it would have
yonks.
been,
Like yeah, it might have even been like skin to skin. Who knows? But
I think
too long.
yeah,
Too long.
it's too long, way too long, which shows you've been busy because you've had so much going on in the last few months. How's it been? Have you been enjoying this last 6 months or so?
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like things are picking up steam. January's been a good month for me. And January's been probably the best month that I've had in quite a while this year. And obviously we're into February now, but like the
Yeah,
good
I
times are
know.
rolling over, baby. I played Tamworth in January, which was pretty exciting. Played my first headline show at Tamworth, which was really special. I kind of got a little bit soppy ahead of it because I was like really, I don't know, really proud of myself, if I can say that without sounding like an arrogant piece of turd. Like I was genuinely really just reflecting on kind of my life and where kind of, because for those of you that aren't familiar with my story, I hit 30 and I hadn't released any songs. I'd been in Star Maker 12 years prior, but I actually hadn't really done anything, and I just got sick of playing weddings and corporate gigs and chasing the money. And I finally kind of started chasing stuff that filled up my cup, and Tamworth was for me a lifelong dream there, playing one of my own shows, and for it to happen so long, so quickly after I started releasing too, like it's a testament
It
to
was really quick, yeah.
How much hard work really does pay off if you're willing to put in the hard yards, and
Exactly.
I suppose as well having a fantastic team around you and people that are willing to support you.
And I was talking about you and in your team before. Actually, you have a supportive family. You've actually built a really great musical team around you. But being supported from home all the way around to your team is just it makes such a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, couldn't do it without my team. And when I say team, I just mean, my mates, my wife, my kids,
Yeah,
Jules as well. She's been
yeah,
massive in
yeah,
getting my music out there and getting me onto shows like this and
yeah,
giving me the confidence and the reassurance that I'm on the right track. Landing me charts and like Will Osland from Czech Labeled Services as
yes.
well. I think I've been on Fresh Country now, which is a hard Spotify playlist to crack. I've
Very
been on
hard.
it 4 times in a row. Um,
Every song's been on it. That's fantastic.
4 songs in a row, yeah,
Right,
which is
yeah,
like
that
huge. Like,
doesn't happen. Like
I
that's
remember the
incredible.
first time I landed, I had tears in my eyes because it was like, it was the
Yeah,
what the unicorn, For me,
yes.
it was like
You hit on that.
just it eluded me the first 2 times, and I landed at the third song, and I was really, I was just beyond
Yeah,
ecstatic because, like, that as you know, that Fresh Country playlist is massive. So,
it's
and
huge.
to be on that meant the world. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy kind of period.
Absolutely, but a great crazy. There's lots of people
Yeah.
popping into giving us questions. Kaz has jumped in and said hi.
Hey,
Um,
Kaz.
Jay wants to ask who your dentist is.
You know what, you wouldn't tell, but I had a pretty shocking, um, I don't know what's veneer kind of what's aesthetic, like
Yeah,
aesthetics, dental aesthetics. When I was younger, I was born with an extra tooth. Like, if you saw photos of
really?
me when I was like 18, 19, 20, I literally got picked on throughout high school. About my kind of teeth and having this random baby tooth that was sitting right
Yeah,
there in
right.
the front tooth. Like, I had a baby tooth, like, and the reason, apparently, the dentist told me at the time, was that I was born with an extra tooth in between my adult and my baby tooth that was
Oh,
impeding or preventing the adult
yeah.
tooth from pushing the baby
Coming
tooth
down.
down. So it just stayed there throughout my whole adolescence.
Did it
So
get
it's really
painful?
bizarre.
Would it get painful with the?
So I ended up having braces, and what they did was, like,
Yeah.
they kind of, straightened out my teeth, and then they had a chain that kind of was attached
Mhm.
surgically. I had to get knocked out for it, and then
Yeah.
slowly over time they would tighten the chain and pull. So they
The
cut
tooth
out the
down.
baby tooth, they cut out that middle tooth, and then they went up the dental cavity and pulled down the tooth over a matter of time, and then
Oh,
voila, and then I had to have like another year or two of braces, and
oh my
yeah, so it's a long drawn out story. Sorry to bore everyone with that.
gosh. It just sounds awful. A
Yeah,
dentist is the one thing. I was a bit like that. I had to have plates and all sorts of
yeah.
things, but I don't have any wisdom teeth, and they didn't take them out, so I was just not born wise. None,
Wow,
got
really?
none at all. Yeah, I figured that what, I've had so many operations in my life. I'm going to take this win and not have to have my wisdom teeth out because I
You're
don't
like
have
a
any.
medical
Yeah, I
abnormality.
think
That's
there's very few
insane.
people. I've got one of my friends, he only had one. But yeah, most people have to have them removed. And I was like, well, why haven't mine played up? And I had my neck x-rays done after they did my spine. And I looked on the x-rays and I looked at the guy and I said, I don't have wisdom teeth. And the radiographer was looking at it, he goes, no, you don't. And I said, I
Maybe
don't have
the
any.
maybe the tooth fairy came in one night and just stole them without you knowing, like, yeah,
Tooth
when
Fairy
you were
ripped
younger.
me off because I did not get any money for them. I think the Tooth Fairy needs to drop that money back in. And I
Oh,
want it with
how good.
interest, please. Chris has popped in to say hi.
Hey,
Um,
Chris.
it's not coming up on screen. Sorry, Chris. I don't know what I've done now,
Yes,
but now I've
Lord.
completely lost the screen. Paula's jumped in to say hi, and for some reason
Hey,
I
Paul.
can't click on the. No, it won't let me click on the
Love Paula.
messages.
She's always in the comment
I know,
section, man. I
always
see
so
you, Paula.
supportive. I just can't wait
I,
till we get to a show one day where Paul is actually there because I'd love to meet her. And
yes. Yes. I
that would
wouldn't
be
even know
so
what she
good.
looks like either because she doesn't have a profile
No,
pic. So
no,
she'd have to introduce herself to me for me to know.
yeah.
But I'd know as
I
soon as
feel
she
like we
told me.
might know. I feel like as soon as it would happen. And Kaz says hi. I can't put them on the screen, everybody. It's having a moment and won't let me. She said, Nathan, you are cool. We love you. Jay said,
Love you
how did you
too.
get into music? What got you into music to start with? That's a
You
good
know,
question. It's
I
loaded.
don't remember like like a moment in my life where I kind of knew so I know exactly when I fell in love with performing on stage, but in terms of like when did I start singing, it's kind of like how long's a piece of string. I think I was just exposed to it a lot growing up around my
Yeah.
sisters and brothers who were really talented themselves, and my dad was a country music singer. My stepmom ran the Leeton Country Music Talent Quest, and she ran the association. So um, she, very much invested in me from an early age, and she probably picked up on the fact that I was, good, or kind of had the natural talent there that she wanted to like take further. So but when I was 9, long story short, when I was 9, Millie took me to my first Tamworth Country Music Festival, and she'd entered me into the CCMA Talent Quest, which was massive back then.
Yeah.
Like, to understand the scope, it was bigger than any of the talent quests that are currently in Tamworth now.
Yeah.
In terms of like that junior,
Category.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was massive. Like there would be like 50, 60, 70 kids all in one each category. Like it was just insane. Um, and yeah, I got up as a 9-year-old and just sang, and kind of felt alive, felt like, wow, like I've got everyone's eyes on me. This is, cool. I like this.
Yeah.
And then I think from there I just got addicted, grew addicted to that feeling and chased it, and kind of entered every talent quest I could. Every performance opportunity that came my way, I just jumped at it. So, um, and country was a big part of that, But can I say, I will add, just really briefly, for me, country, was my escape. I'd sit in the bedroom at home, I'd be playing Keith Lee Kernigan CDs. I'd be jamming out my
Mhm.
on the guitar that I purchased at my first, festival, from the buskings that I earned, and then I'd be watching Get Garth Brooks' greatest hits on the DVD, and watching him command a
Yeah.
stage and have all the people sing back to him,
I
his
know.
words.
You can feel it watching those videos, even though it's on video with him, that
Yeah,
the energy, yeah,
I remember
incredible.
watching it for the first time, going, "Wow!" Like
Yeah.
that's every time I talk about it, I
It's
get goosebumps. I
goosebumps.
literally get.
Yeah.
It's just, and that just that's what I want. And it's happened a few times now where I've had a few people, at shows, like had the crew singing back some of my songs, which has been
Yes.
pretty awesome. But yeah, like it's just a really special thing to share with an audience,
100%.
to have them know your songs. Like, yeah, so
And it's
that's what I'm chasing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as an artist, and I write songs too. It's a huge thing, the thought of someone singing your own song back to you. But as a fan of music, to be able to do that with an artist too, it's that connection works both ways. To be
Yeah,
able to have their original music and have those moments,
yeah.
especially when it's such a big place, we don't always get to be in the same state or where someone's playing. So to have those moments, it's really special on both sides of the thing, I think.
Oh, it's a two-way relationship, and I think that any artist that enjoys performing on stage, enjoys it because of the energy that's fed by the audience. But the audience only enjoy it if we're enjoying it. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
this catch-22, like
feeding each other.
exactly. It just kind of amps up from there. So like, and
Yeah.
it's like this, perpetual loop that just happens, and
Yes,
yeah, feeds on.
it's
What
funny.
feedback loop? Feedback loop.
Yeah,
That's what I meant.
it is. That's what it is. It adds to this roller coaster that we always talk to. Like great one was 2 weeks ago we were at the Golden Guitars, and then I remember looking back thinking, oh, this time last week I was at the Golden Guitars and we are doing this, and now I'm standing here and I've got my track pants on with bleach stains down them and I'm scrubbing the shower. It's those ups and those downs. It's that high that we get, and we're
Yeah.
lucky because we get to do it. But it's hard
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah, you got to ride the wave. Like
Yeah.
I was, and to be frank, like I was, I'd hit a pretty low towards the end of last year. I felt very demotivated. Everything that I did felt like I had to force it. I felt like I was just faced with, not necessarily the case, but like I felt a sense of rejection, not from anyone in particular, but just in general. And when you encounter barriers, or you have some goals and perhaps you don't meet them, or that things don't work out the way you thought they would. it can you can really have a pity party with yourself.
Yes, you
And
can.
yeah, and I think I'm starting to learn that it comes in patterns. I kind of I had another low before that, that was followed by a high, and January has been so great, and
Yes.
I've got some stuff that's coming up that's super exciting that I've yet to announce. That's some opportunities that I'm just absolutely jumping at that are really exciting, and I can't wait to announce. But there's these things that just happen where it reminds you, like, yeah, this is what I'm doing it for. It's for these moments where something does happen, and
Yeah.
it's really exciting, and kind of just it really lights a fire under you again. But in those moments where you don't feel motivated, those are really important that you keep
They
going
are.
as well.
Yeah, you do. You have to remember, and I think that's where I love Tamworth, but I also don't love Tamworth because it starts the year off on a really big high, which is amazing. It sets that level, and
I know
then
where
you
you're
get
going.
to the part way through February, and you're like, oh, it's
Yeah,
been and gone, and it's only the start of the
yeah,
year. You hit that low again. I
yeah.
think definitely.
Post festival blues.
Yeah.
Yes, I know them well.
I think we've all got them. I think it's contagious.
Yeah.
And I like this. Kaz said somewhere here, where did you say? She didn't have wisdom teeth either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't. Where did she say? I don't know if it'll let me comment now. Let me see if it'll let me. Yeah, it did. She didn't have wisdom teeth. It's rare, but it's not unusual. I think we were just smart enough.
There you go.
Maybe
So the two people in the world that don't have wisdom teeth, and they're sitting in this
we're
in this
all
live
here.
chat. How
That's
crazy,
right.
man!
Let's
That's
give
awesome.
everybody importance in this live chat. That's right. Judy's popped
Coincidence.
in to say hi. Paula's saying that she loves us both. Jan has popped in.
Hey,
Kim
Jen.
and Cam. I saw you both on the thing before. Jonathan and Brendan. There's lots of people jumping in to say hi. Kim, what did you say? Let me get up. The new song is amazing. Love
Oh,
hearing it on the
Kimmy.
radio.
Oh,
I do too.
Kim's a good mate. Yeah. Kim's one of the one of
Cameron's
the
becoming.
team one of those team people that I was talking
She
about.
is
Kim.
absolutely. And Cameron
Yeah.
has just said he didn't have them either.
Ah,
There you go.
it's
I've
becoming
not
more
heard of
common.
so
So
many people. Yeah,
evolution's like
it
phasing
is.
it
Yeah,
out.
that's right. That means we're ahead of our time. Um, that's what it is. I can do this all night. Keep it going. Um, tell us.
I have mine, unfortunately.
Somebody has to. Someone has to keep the dentist in business. We can't not have it out. What would the dentist do then? Tell us a
That's
little bit.
exactly
So
right.
you came to Tamworth and you did the first 4 days. You missed Keith.
Yeah, yeah, I
That would
know.
have been
I
hard.
wasn't. I'm still.
A
Did you have
little
to bring
bit
that up?
sorry.
It's a
It
bit
was,
of a
yeah.
touchy subject for me.
Mm,
Yeah, look, I definitely had massive FOMO, and they announced it, of course, the day I was leaving.
yeah, yeah.
Just to rub dirt in the
I
wound.
take
It
that.
was it was
Yeah.
like, oh, here we go. Well, look, I had some other stuff I had to get back for, but like some other
Yeah.
gigs, and I think when you're not taking your family with you, they're obviously left behind, and you kind of feel a bit, your head's in two places at once. So I felt like I had to get back for a couple of reasons, but I I also felt like I got so much, out of the first 4 days that I was there. I feel like I fit
It's
in 10 days
exhausting.
worth.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's huge.
and I had no voice at the end of it
Yeah.
because I was just doing this the whole bloody time,
Mhm.
and
I've still
singing
got
on top of it.
blisters. I've still got
It's
blisters from talking too much.
Man, I think I've got nodules from talking too much.
Yeah.
Vocal nodes, as they call them. But
Yes.
yeah, it's a shame. I actually tuned in at my gig. I was tuning in via the YouTube app to watch the gold
Yes.
guitars, and I managed to watch Keith's speech
Oh,
whilst
good.
I was sitting in between sets, and it
Respect.
just inspired me even more to keep
Yeah.
going. I think Keith's
Yeah.
a true character. Like he is who
Yeah.
he is who he is. Like what you see is what you get, and he's so kind with his time. Not just
Yeah.
for coming to Tamworth and that, but like I'm
In
certain that
general.
he speaks to a lot of artists in Australia, like
Yes. Yeah.
guys that are nobodies like me. He still emails, and we still talk every now and
Yeah.
then.
Special.
You know, and I'm kind of like on nobody's radar yet, really. I'm on a few people's radar, but like, you know, Keith's on a completely different, you know, he's on a
Yeah.
completely different universe in terms
Yeah.
of like where he's reached. So it's so
I
nice
think
to feel like, you know, they're in your court and they're still
yes, that's right.
who
And I
they
think
are.
he paved the way for a lot of us because he was a change in the industry before the changes were as great as they are now. And he kind of paved the way for us to all be able to sort of do it our own way. So I think that's why so many of us watch him and admire him. Yes, he's talented and we love his music, but he's helped all of us in his own way. And I think he kind of jumped ahead, years ahead of his time, allowing what we've got today.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, definitely. I think, yeah, he, I mean, his sound was ahead of his time. His
Yeah.
whole vibe was, you
Everything.
know, he did pave the way. Like he
Yeah.
literally changed, you know, or contributed to the shift in the modern era of country. You know, he was one of those. Is he legacy now? I don't know. Is he
Yeah.
is he a part of that
I
crew?
think so. I think so because I remember when he was touring with Slim, and that's how I found out about Keith Urban was when he was on the road
Yeah,
with Slim, and you could certainly put both he and Slim in a room, and they had totally different sounds. And people are like, oh, it has to move, but Slim encouraged that, like he. Gave the
yeah,
go ahead for these changes as well. So it's nice to
yeah.
see people with that difference. Oh, I like this. Kaz said that she saw Keith as a teenager busking in Peel Street. Um, People were cruel. He did go through a fair bit, didn't he?
What were
Um,
they cool about? I'm curious about that.
it's interesting, isn't it, how people picked on him? It's like that little clip that he has when he was on a TV show and they're telling him that he wasn't good enough or he wasn't going to get anywhere. And it's just like that whole moment of take
It's
that.
that's
You really
social
didn't know what you were
media
talking
these
about.
days.
Yeah.
Like social media is insane. Like you know, for every positive comment, there seems to be like 10 negative comments. And
Yeah.
if you kind of tune into that, or if you pay
Mm.
too much mind to that when they're not the ones paying your bills, then I think it'll cripple you. Like it's because I've had a few videos blow up, and I've been subjected to some crazy stuff. And I let it get to me at first, but I'm like, why am I wasting all my time and energy on this when I could be out just, you know,
And you
continuing to
know
do what
what?
I'm doing?
Those those cruel comments and those cruel posts, every post and comment that you get, it breaks algorithms. So it's the joke's kind of on them.
Yeah.
They're helping you get that out there even more. So, their problem, not ours.
I think I have to go at 7:30. I've just realised I might.
That's
I
all right.
think
You got another
Jules
show?
might have booked me for a 7:30. I'm not going to pin that
That's
on
okay.
Jules. I'm just.
Before
I,
you do go though, tell us where can we hear your new single and what's the best spot for us to keep an eye on you while you are there?
no worries. So absolutely, you need to get to Instagram and of course my Facebook and TikTok. TikTok's where all the fun, you know, perhaps a little bit cringy video content is, but Instagram's and Facebook's probably where I update people the most on when I'm playing, where I'm playing, what's happening in my world. So please get across all those, and of course Spotify, YouTube Music, and Apple Music. You can stream Deezer, Apple, Amazon Music, all the streaming platforms, and of course YouTube as well. You can find all my music videos and visualizers on there. Yeah, just come say hello. I don't, you know, I like to try and get across every message. It depends on how crazy my kids are being, I suppose, and how much time I can dedicate to
Yeah.
social media, because Mr. Mum over here has other
Yeah.
things as well on his plate,
Oh
but I
my
do
gosh,
try and
that
get across
song
as
is now stuck, Mr. Mum. I'm gonna have to play that song before I go to bed tonight. Thank you. And the film
You're
clip, I
welcome.
have to say, I love that film clip. It was great. That was. Thank you so much for chatting to us. I cannot wait
You're
to hear
welcome.
your next song and see you on your travels around as the year goes on. But yeah, thank you, and
It's been a
hopefully
pleasure, and
there's a new song coming.
thank you. thank you for what you're doing, like, on top of your day, what you're doing of the day and everything else, like, and the fact that you sit down with us artists and get our voices out there and our stories, it's really appreciated, and it goes a long way. So thank you for letting me to come on and give my song a quick
Right.
plug.
We love having you, and we'll definitely be doing a live in-person interview before the year is out. We have to make that happen. Thank you again. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow night. We've got Courtney Kyle. This will be our last Tamworth show. We had some issues last week, but we're up and running, and we'll be back tomorrow night with Courtney Kyle. So hang in there. I'll get the ad up on the page as soon as I can. But thank you so much, Nathan. We'll see you very soon.
See you later. Thanks.